our gala, but I wanted to say that some parts were pre-recorded before we could get all of the election results. We know now more than we did then, and I'm just so excited about the wind at our back. We had communities across the country really vote on their values, and I'm just so excited for what's to come. So I hope you have a great evening. Renelle, take it away.
Welcome to Equal Rights Advocates Gala 2020. This will be an unforgettable hour of celebrating 46 years of gender justice. And we have an inspirational and surprising program ahead for viewers all over the country coming together for a common purpose: fortify and restore each other in our fight for justice. So text your friends and have them join you at bit.ly/ERA Gala 2020. And get excited about our upcoming special guests, Rapinoe, Anita Hill, Dolores Huerta, and other fabulous sheroes of our movement. So get your favorite beverage and tell the family dog it can walk itself today. Let's celebrate essential members of our community and congratulate ERA for some amazing accomplishments, especially in a year that can't stop turning up the heat. While you're waiting for us to start, please feel free to see who else is here and say hi to other guests in the chat room on your screens. And we'll see you in about 5 minutes.
You know, I think we get this thing kind of confused, and I just want to make this thing clear. Here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to Equal Rights Advocates' 46th Annual Gala. I'm Renelle Brooks-Moon, and I am so proud to be your MC and host this evening. I want to start tonight by asking everyone to just take a deep breath. Let's take it in. Feel that breath in your bones. Let it go. Take another one if it feels good to you. Because 2020 has been a lot. Pandemic, economic uncertainty, racial injustice that has been centuries in the making. Our democracy is in crisis. All of this has forced us to confront what is essential to a functioning and fair society that lives up to our ideals. And it's after the election, and communities across the nation stood up for your democracy and voted based on values important to all of us. So let's come together tonight and celebrate those shared values of dignity at work, equal opportunity, gender and racial and economic justice, and all Equal Rights Advocates has done, is doing, and will do to continue that important work. And now to start our celebration of the progress we have made in the cause of gender justice, let's listen to a very special message from my good friend, San Francisco Mayor, the Honorable London Breed.
Hi, I'm Mayor London Breed. Congratulations to Equal Rights Advocates for fighting for the health, safety, humanity, and dignity of all people for the past 46 years. You have been standing up for frontline workers and students and those who have had their gender and gender identity held against them in our workplaces and schools. This includes our essential workers, who I know you are honoring today. We are grateful every day for all those who have kept our city going through this pandemic. The nurses, the bus drivers, the grocery store workers, and everyone who has been out there day after day after day. Thank you, Equal Rights Advocates, for raising awareness about their hard work and for fighting for everyone's essential value, no matter who they are. Stay safe and healthy, and I know that we appreciate everything you do to make our workplaces and our world more equal and just for all.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. When ERA asked me to be your host and MC this year, I was so deeply honored. As public address announcer for the San Francisco Giants since Oracle Park opened in 2000, and for 18 seasons the only female PA announcer in Major League Baseball, I truly know the importance of legacy and honoring those who opened doors before us by opening doors for the next generation. And that's what ERA does. And I'd like to give a shout out to my sister, Marisol Castro, who became the PA voice of the New York Mets in 2018. That's right, there are only two of us, and we are both women of color, and we hold each other down. Now, tonight, you are all part of continuing the legacy of fighting for gender civil rights and pushing forward and making history. No one knows that better than Noreen Farrell, Executive Director of Equal Rights Advocates.
Thank you, Renelle, and welcome everyone. And thank you for all the ways that you support Equal Rights Advocates to meet this moment. It's a moment not unlike the one we were founded in 1974, when we had to reimagine schools and workplaces and all the spheres holding back women and girls. We are at another tipping point in this country, and we have incredible momentum on our back from last week's elections. And we need it because we have civil and reproductive rights to claw back, a democracy to defend. We have seen the police murders of George Floyd and others and white supremacy on display. And for any of you impacted by COVID-19, our hearts go out to you. We know that this pandemic has really exposed the unfinished business of our movement for communities of color, women and gender-expansive people, and all workers. As we speak, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 3 mothers are contemplating leaving the workplace because they don't have what they need to stay. 865 women were forced out of the workplace in September alone, and we know that it is low-paid women workers of color who've been impacted the hardest. I think it's these moments of really devastating clarity that has to inspire really bold and new visioning about all the systems that impact our lives. And in my 2 decades as a civil rights attorney, I have never seen more likely and unlikely allies just coming together to do just that. And that has to give us a lot of hope as we move forward. We have incredible wins to celebrate today, thanks to you and your support that allows equal rights advocates do what we do best: defend rights, pass new laws, and build community power for gender, racial, and economic justice. You helped us pass state laws that guaranteed our federal rights under attack. With our partners in the Stronger California Advocates Network, I'm giving you all a shout out, we have passed 30 pieces of legislation now benefiting 30 million people across genders, addressing poverty, expanding access to childcare and paid leave, protecting women and others from discrimination and harassment and harm. And you helped us take those on the road to other states. This time last year, we launched the Network of States to Stop Harassment with our partners. And today we have 138 organizational members across the country. And we threw our support behind 19 states passing stronger anti-harassment laws. We've also expanded our Equal Pay Today campaign on the national scale. Last August, just this past one, on Black Women's Equal Pay Day, we galvanized, get this, 46 million people to support states considering hazard pay for essential workers, Mississippi's first equal pay law, great state bills like the one on our agenda to make sure that garment workers didn't have to suffer wage theft, and that employers reported pay data, which was not happening at the federal level. And we do all this because we know that higher wages today makes us more economically secure tomorrow, whatever COVID-19 brings. And I want to thank you. With your help, we launched an action plan as soon as the pandemic hit. And we had a goal. Let's ensure that families emerge from this pandemic stronger than they entered it. We have expanded our helpline. We were committed to continuing representing students and workers even when courts and campuses closed. With our great pro bono network, which is being honored tonight, and great co-counsel, we reached landmark settlements, eliminating gender bias in the workers' compensation system. Settlements benefited thousands of essential workers in groceries and in airport security lines who needed accommodations when they were pregnant. And when Betsy DeVos decided in the middle of a national health pandemic to attack the right of students to be educated without harassment or violence, we sued the Trump administration. And we pushed that trial right up through the election because we know that the rights of our kids, LGBTQ+ kids, girls of color, kids you're going to be sending back to school one day, they can't depend on elections. We also passed state laws that ensure that students are protected from these anti-Title IX Trump rollbacks. And what was really powerful is that we had great networks in place when COVID-19 hit that allowed us to really push emergency relief for undocumented workers and for families in need, all with the eye that these temporary packages would become sustained relief, and those would become permanent policy fixes in more states in 2021. Because look, to get small women-owned businesses back on track, to help the 8 million people who have fallen into poverty since this pandemic hit, we have to reimagine our workplaces and community supports in all spheres. Because I think if the last 9 months has taught us one thing, it's the recognition finally that women and others are essential to this economy and to this country, and that paid family leave, childcare, safe working conditions, a real commitment to Black Lives Matter, these are non-negotiables in the vision that we're pushing forward. And we have great momentum pushing forward that vision. We need to celebrate the election wins from last week, the fact that there was a record number of women that ran for president, that historic VP ticket, which we'll talk about later. Look, and as we contemplate what's happening across the country, let's celebrate our community power that really dictates what happens from here. We see it in the care that we give each other during COVID-19. We've seen it in great businesses like our sponsors who've really leaned in for justice and for workers. We've seen it in the voters that challenged mailboxes being hauled away and the young people who took to the streets. This is our power. So let's just channel the words of the great leaders of our moment. And I'd love for you to guess who said these. We are speaking We are persisting, we are reclaiming our time, and we belong everywhere that decisions are made. I look forward to coming back a little later in the program to tell you our plans in 2021 and how you can help. I already see some great donations happening. Thank you so much for that. We do this together.
I am absolutely thrilled to receive this Icon Award from Equal Rights Advocates. You have been great role models for my work. You've been wonderful collaborators. And I cannot think of any organization that I would feel more honored to be with. And I am especially thrilled to be recognized along with the amazing Dolores Huerta, who is just a role model for all of us and inspires us every day. So thank you both. Thank you, Dolores, for sharing some time with me. And thank you, Noreen and Drew, for this privilege to be here.
I would like to thank the Equal Rights Advocates for giving me this Icon Award. Although I do have to say that my younger son says, "Mom, you're not an icon, you're an icon." And I know the other recipients, like the wonderful and the great Anita Hill, are all also icons. And of course, we know that we as women, that's what we have to be. And that's what Equal Rights Advocates is all about. Making sure that we as women can do the work that needs to be done.
And now, here is Equal Rights Advocates Deputy Director to introduce the short film, We Are Essential.
Stories matter. For the past 2 years, we've seen their power. In the early days of the pandemic, stories immediately put a face on the women workers who have always been essential to our workplaces, economy, and country. But the pandemic has forced many on the front lines to stay there, often without support. They're in healthcare, they service food, clean our buildings, restock our grocery stores, some of them even paying the ultimate price to support the rest of us. Now, 9 months later, it is vital to share a few of the lived experiences from among ERA's many thousands of clients since 1974 and dozens this past year. These women's voices must guide us as we work to rebuild a more racially and gender-just world. The stories you'll be seeing come from our second 2020 Gender Justice Champion, Candace Branner, one of the frontline essential workers during this pandemic who fought pregnancy discrimination at work. You'll also meet the recipient of our 2020 Emerging Leader Award, Virginia, whose strength and resilience has been an inspiration to everyone on our team. And finally, another of our 2020 Gender Justice Champions, Rebecca Berry, speaking for her clients as well as the countless pro bono attorneys serving our helpline to end sexual violence in education. These are their stories, and we hope you are moved by them. Thanks for joining us.
My name is Rebecca Celeste Berry. I modeled my life after Michelle Obama. I learned that she had studied sociology and then she went to law school. And so I studied sociology and went to law school. My first job was in DC at the Black Women's Health Imperative, which is a policy organization around reproductive justice. There, I learned how to work with the law and work with policy and bring it to the people, bring it to the community, and make it so that it empowers the people. I looked on Equal Rights Advocates website and saw that they were doing not only education work, but also litigation and direct services. So they basically had a three-prong model and were doing it all and doing it really well. I heard back from them and got the great news that I would be starting as a Ruth Chance Law Fellow. I moved back here to the Bay to work with them. Didn't know of any other organizations that had an education program where they would represent you and really take you through the whole Title IX process. I got to work there for a year and then transitioned out to a new position, but I loved the work so much that I came back to work as a pro bono attorney. It is essential for organizations like Equal Rights Advocates to exist because, again, the power dynamics have been so imbalanced over history in terms of people who have gone through oppressive situations and who need support from attorneys, from people who can represent them and really show them the way and lead them to justice. Coming forward with my own story of sexual violence or experiencing that is a way to show the world and to show even my clients as I do this work that they're not alone and that we have a family in other survivors who are also stepping up to tell their stories. What I went through, the lessons that I've learned, all of it has come together so that I can be an activist for others and really represent other folks who have gone through the same things. My purpose is to validate survivors. It is worth it for survivors to become a part of this community. I am proud to accept this honor on behalf of the Enough Pro Bono Network. Thank you so much, Equal Rights Advocates, for thinking of me. As a survivor and an attorney, the words gender justice champion make me emotional, to be honest. It feels like a perfect way to describe the remembering that happens on this journey. When advocates put our heart in this work, we go on a journey with our clients to heal, to remember our most authentic and true selves, champions for love, which includes gender justice. I dedicate this honor to the advocates that take up this mantle, and I also dedicate this to our brave clients. You all inspire me to keep going, even when the odds seem insurmountable. Every client that I've worked with has a special place in my heart, and I thank them for trusting me and others in this network with their stories. You are all amazing. I want to end with a quote that I wrote. This was after a months-long battle with a school that failed our client, a rape survivor. A year after the assault, they offered bittersweet relief in the form of a settlement. In that case, the client and I went through a roller coaster of emotions during mediation. We went from anger to despair, back to moments of joy and hope as well. As I walked her off the ledge that day, although I was supporting her, she saved my life too. I wrote, I celebrate my client's resiliency, but I don't define her by it. I celebrate her beauty, but I don't reduce her to it. I love her, and I see hope for the ways I could love myself too. Thank you again for this honor.
Hi, my name is Mahek. I am so proud and grateful for the work ERA is doing to protect student survivors in educational institutions across the state. My aunt, Harjeet Kaur, manages the Enough Pro Bono program, a program that is essential for protecting the rights of students just like me. Title IX laws and procedures are confusing and intimidating, so knowing that I have an army of pro bono attorneys to help me if I ever need them is so empowering and allows me to focus on what is truly important, my education. This program would not exist without your support. Thank you so much for supporting ERA and for supporting this truly essential pro bono program.
My name is Amelia Wagner. In the last 2 years since I've known ERA, they've helped me in so many different ways. They represented me in my Title IX case, and I helped share my testimony on behalf of their lawsuits against the Department of Education. I spoke to California senators on behalf of SB 493, also spoke with California students and promoted Enough, the free legal aid hotline for students. Pretty much since I've met them, since I met all of you guys, you changed my life, you saved my life, and Megan Rapinoe, if you're seeing this, you're the GOAT. We would have been turning SF up if this was in person, but I'll see you guys next year. Happy anniversary. Congrats, keep it up, and thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Brenda, and I'm one of the attorneys at ERA. As our most vulnerable and essential community members face increasing hardship and discrimination, I'm proud to be a part of ERA's lawsuit against Betsy DeVos and the Department of Education to challenge regulations that specifically target and harm our most vulnerable students, particularly Black and brown girls and LGBTQ students. Thank you so much for your support. We couldn't do it without you.
My name is Virginia. At home, I like to spend time with my dog, spend time with my family. I want to be a nurse because I was always a sick child, so I've spent a lot of time in a hospital, and I came to really appreciate the work that the nurses do, especially for how they helped me. So I want to give back and help other children like me. When I first started working with equal rights advocates, I was really scared. I was still in high school. I was going through a very traumatizing experience. It was something that took a lot of courage to do and a lot of strength. I feel like it's very essential for organizations like Equal Rights Advocates because my family, we don't have money, and they did everything for me. My parents didn't know about lawyers or like laws and Title IXs. They really just gave my whole family a voice. Coming forward with my story is important to me because I know so many other girls' stories that haven't been heard. I know that there's a lot of other girls that have been through what I've been through and worse that don't have somebody they could go to. They just brush it off and feel like, oh, it's what happened to them is okay. Saying your story to anybody is important. Even if they don't listen to you, you go to the next person because it's important to get your justice. I wasn't the one that went forward with my story. Somebody else went forward for me. Even if there's adults that don't listen to you, there's other people that will listen to you, and there's other people that will hear you out, and they will do something about it. I feel like in order to stop the issues that are happening, they should listen first and foremost. People need to know how to deal with like sexual assault and how to deal when it's reported, especially adults, like the adults that are supposed to be protecting us and like, giving us resources. This has empowered me in a way that I feel like it's made me a stronger person. I feel like I'm less shy. I don't feel like defenseless. I don't feel helpless. Before I would get like scared of people calling me liar or I asked for it and stuff like that, but I don't let that bother me anymore because I know my story and I know my truth. I found a team that believed in me and encouraged me to find out how strong I really am. I want people to think if she did it, I could do it.
I'm so happy to accept this Emerging Leader Award and for the opportunity to share my story, a story that so many other survivors share in schools everywhere. Thank you, Equal Rights Advocates, and also a huge thank you to Maha and Brenda, who never left my side during the whole process. And thank you, ERA, for never giving up on me and all your hard work. Thank you so much.
Behind every great cause is a great advocate. For decades, Drucilla Ramey has been the not-so-invisible hand fiercely gathering support for equal rights advocates, from rallying support from some of the biggest law firms in the area, some of whom are sponsoring this event today. Drew Ramey has been an inspiring, compassionate voice, gathering all around her to get on board with gender justice. We honor Drucilla Ramey as our first 2020 Champion of Justice with ERA's inaugural Ramey Award, awarded to those who serve the mission of equal rights advocates with heart and with service. So let's hear from some of Drew's friends.
I am so excited to kick off this congratulation video for the incredible Drucilla Ramey, who is the recipient of Equal Rights Advocates' inaugural Ramey Award, which we named after Drew's feminist and pioneering mother, Dr. Estelle Ramey, and really in celebration of Drew herself, who is the embodiment of equal rights advocates. Through her service as our board chair, as a mentor and a friend to so many of us in the legal profession and in the movement, I think Drew energizes all of us with hope and with the knowledge that we can demand equality and we can get it if we expect nothing less from the law, from our electeds, and from each other. So I really want to thank Drew for all she does for equal rights advocates and to congratulate her on this award.
I have known Drew since she was about 1 month old. She's much taller now, and she's a giant in the arena of equal rights.
You were and are non-Farrell. I congratulate you and the ERA board for having had such an incredible, inspirational leader.
You've done it with such flash and such flair, combined with passion and big brains.
And back then we could only dream of the formidable organization that ERA is today. And it is that way in large part because of your hard work and dedication over the last few years, especially as board chair.
How can one say no to Drew? It's just absolutely impossible. And so literally, she's the only person who I would actually thank for asking me for money.
She's one of the people that keeps America going, no matter what's happening otherwise.
We will be forever grateful for all of the groups of people she has brought into the ERA fold, thanks to her extensive connections, not just in the Bay Area, but around the United States in the legal community.
So lucky to have her in its leadership position for such a long time. And they have been the extraordinary beneficiary of all that Drew has to offer and give, which is all of her. So Drew, thank you for your incredible service and leadership through all the years.
I am so honored and moved to accept this award on behalf of 3 generations of Ramey women who have had equal rights advocates and its mission of gender justice running through our life's blood. My mother, Dr. Estelle Ramey, a crusading professor of medicine, was ERA's honored speaker in 1992. A renowned endocrinologist, feminist writer, and speaker, she believed, as observed by her friend Ruth Bader Ginsburg, that real advancement of women cannot come without understanding and dispelling the harmful stereotypes that impede both men and women from realizing their full human potential. Thus, my mother's article in the very first issue of Ms. Magazine was entitled, "Men's Cycles, They Have Them Too, You Know." As a civil rights lawyer, bar leader, and dean, I have been proud to march shoulder to shoulder with ERA for almost half a century, but never so much as now in my service as board chair. I continually marvel at ERA's fierce determination to advance equal justice across this nation. Fueled by the unyielding support of all of you listening in today, our partners in the legal profession, and our own brilliantly talented staff. These include our visionary leader, the notorious NAF, that would be Noreen and Farrell, and my cherished daughter, Jessica Stella Ramey Stender, ERA's Senior Counsel for Workplace Justice and Policy. And so like her grandmother and her father, my beloved husband, Marvin Stender, in her passion for justice, her empathy and fundamental decency, and her refusal to countenance bigotry, hatred, and intolerance. My mother used to say of her son, the doctor, and her daughter, the lawyer, God knows what my children could have made of themselves if only they hadn't had a working mother. All mothers, of course, are working mothers, and all of us strive to inculcate in our children and all of the younger people coming up behind us the determination and courage to fight inequality in all its forms, and the imperative to demand justice that lay at the very heart of ERA's mission. I want to again express my deepest thanks to equal rights advocates for this great honor, and to close with paraphrasing, as my mother so often did, John Donne and the Book of Genesis. No woman is an island entire of itself. Each of us is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. Any woman's diminishment diminishes me, because I am involved in womankind. I am my sister's keeper.
What a beautiful tribute of my friend Drew Ramey. Hi, I'm Kelly Dermody. On behalf of myself and my firm, it is our honor to support equal rights advocates and to announce today the recipient of ERA's Legislative Champion Award from the Golden State of California and my personal shero, Senator Kamala Harris. Standing on the shoulders of the great Shirley Chisholm, Senator Harris's candidacy for president and her journey as the first woman of color ever nominated for a national office by a major political party made us so proud. My favorite part of her campaign was her absolute moral clarity, punctuated by her trademark summation, "Let's be clear." And let's be clear today while we are nominating Senator Kamala Harris, soon to be Vice President Kamala Harris. While she has been in the Senate, Senator Harris has been a tireless advocate for women and families, including our frontline working women. She has staunchly supported reproductive rights and sponsored bills to stop sexual harassment, police violence, and racial injustice. She has led on health issues ranging from Black maternal mortality to relief and support during COVID-19. Her sharp, pointed performance on the Senate Judiciary Committee focused our attention and commanded our respect. She stood for our values during the Kavanaugh and Coney Barrett Supreme Court nominations and so many other important fights. For her work on the people's behalf and for demonstrating that anything is possible, we honor Senator Kamala Harris with our Legislative Champion Award.
Unfortunately, Vice President-elect Harris was unable to join us tonight, but shares this message with us.
Hello, I'm Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and I proudly represent the beautiful 13th Congressional District of California. Yes, I always say it's the most enlightened district in the country. It's truly an honor to be here virtually to celebrate the 46th anniversary of Equal Rights Advocates. I love the theme of this year's gala, We Are Essential. If any one thing has forced us to think about what is really essential to a thriving life and a thriving country and a thriving community, this past year has really done it. Health is essential. Safety is essential. Humanity is essential. Dignity is essential. We have lost so much in this past year. We lost friends and family members to the pandemic. Millions of us lost jobs and businesses. We lost more Black lives to police violence. And we lost heroes like John Lewis and Justice Ginsburg, who fought for our basic rights and bent the arc of our history toward justice. Even as we mourn these losses, we can't give up. We can't lose hope. And it is so important to come together and celebrate our work and our progress in this fight. To everyone who works with and within equal rights advocates, our world, our schools, and our workplaces are more equal and more just because of what you do. Thanks to you and to everyone who helped pass legislation to combat sexual harassment and violence. Hardworking people everywhere, from fast food restaurants to Hollywood studios, are more protected from harm and discrimination. And in the middle of a pandemic, you've helped protect domestic care workers, garment workers, and others. Thank you, ERA, for fighting for the essential value we all have, no matter who we are. Here is to another 46 years. Thank you.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. It's been too hard to live, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's out there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. 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 Change gon' come.
Hey everybody, it's Lauren Underwood. I love this gala theme. We are essential. As a nurse and a public health expert, keeping our communities safe and healthy has always been our priority. Now more than ever, the health of all of us depends on each of us. And that's why I'm focused on making sure our families in Illinois and across the country are safe and healthy and able to take care of themselves and their communities. What we've seen over the past 7 months is that this pandemic is disproportionately affecting women. Women's careers are being derailed. Women are facing new burdens of remote learning or caring for a sick family member. And women make up the majority of essential workers. Women put their health on the line at risk for each of us every day. So who's essential? Teachers, nurses, maintenance workers,
grocery workers, transit workers. They make up this invisible net of care all around us, and that matters. The future of our country rests in the hands of those essential members of our communities, especially these essential women who need to be at the center of all of our decisions here in Congress. I know that they're at the center of my decisions. And that's why I want to commend your organization. You're helping gig workers, domestic care workers, garment workers, while also making sure that it's finally able to measure what we couldn't see before, which is this pay gap. Congratulations, ERA, for fighting the good fight over the past 46 years for frontline workers, students, and people who've had their gender and gender identity held against them in our workplaces and schools. Thank you for being such a passionate advocate for gender justice.
Hi, my name is Katie Sexton, and I'm the attorney at ERA responsible for the Advice and Counseling Program. ANC is the program closest to me because we provide direct services to callers from all over the country with both education and employment discrimination claims. As of November 2nd of this year, in large part because of support from generous donors like you, we were able to reopen our ANC line to employment discrimination claims. Now we're providing important advice, counsel, and representation to low-wage workers who were disproportionately impacted by COVID. Thank you for supporting ANC, and thank you for supporting ERA.
My name is Candace Branner. I was experiencing some, what I would say, inequalities at work, and I was pregnant. I was fearful that I was going to be fired. The primary fear before meeting equal rights was finding legal representation that will take on my case, and even wondering if I had a case. It was very important to me because I was bringing a child in the world and I've always worked, so I needed to provide for him, and that was looking very uncertain at that time. Coming from where I come from, it's very challenging to use your voice. Sometimes you could feel underrepresented, you could feel intimidated by certain situations. So the relationship starting with equal rights, it was the start of even knowing I had a voice. I was still a bit unsure, but the women there were great with helping me through the process. With my son being autistic, there's some challenges that he might face. With me going through this process, it's strengthening me to kind of be able to navigate certain processes with him. He's the motivation for everything I do. He's just awesome, and I have to protect him. It was important for me to be an advocate for him, an advocate for myself, to be able to stand up for the both of us. These issues have been going on for a long time, and it hasn't started with me, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to end with me. I think it's important for women to know that they have a voice that needs to be heard. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be dark times, but you can get through it. I was working a dead-end job. My resources opened, my opportunities opened. I'm a transfer student. In a certain kind of way, it was like a blessing in disguise. I'm studying sociology at San Francisco State. I hope that career path leads into nonprofit or some kind of advocacy work, and then one day to study law. I have the women at ERA to thank for that. I don't know if they know what inspiration they have been and what seeds they planted in me, but I just hope to be as great as them one day. I hope to leave no woman behind.
I am essential.
We are essential.
Our voice is essential. Thank you so much for awarding me this honor as Gender Justice Champion. As a mom with a son to raise, I want to be a small change in the world to make it a better place. You all don't know how phenomenal and essential you are to working moms like me. Your help with my situation at work has helped me to provide a better life for my family. In my eyes, you are heaven-sent women who rock. Thank you.
Shout out to the Equal Rights Advocates team. We've worked together for many years now on a lot of legislation to promote and advance women's economic security in California, which is really leading the way for the rest of the country. And I'm just so grateful for being able to work with such an incredible team. We've worked together not just as partners, organizational partners with CELA and Equal Rights Advocates, but also as part of the broader Stronger California Advocates Network, which really has been a game changer. And you guys have really led the charge on that and bringing everyone together and making sure that we have a holistic agenda in California that puts women's economic security at the very, very top where it belongs. And so just thank you for all the work that you do. Why is living free from gender and racial discrimination essential? Because we all should have equal opportunity and ability to thrive. And I know that that's something that you guys are committed to do. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Layla Cauchon, and I'm an attorney with the Kentucky Association of Sexual Assault Programs. As the sole attorney for our coalition, it has been invaluable to build connections and partnerships through the Stop Harassment State Network. In fact, their rapid response team has been able to help us review education and harassment policies. Their expertise is top-notch. While we can't do this alone, we can do this together. We are essential.
Hi, I'm Laura Morgan, ERA's Director of Development. I want to give a personal shout out to all of our donors, volunteers, and partners that help make ERA's work possible. I'm truly inspired by all of you and your stories and the reasons why you support our work. Thank you for helping to make this event one to celebrate.
Strong Future starts with equal opportunities in school. And for many successful women leaders, those opportunities came through sports. For 46 years, ERA has brought game-changing cases to defend students who just wanted a fair and equal playing field without their gender standing in the way. From its first client, Amy Love, who stood up in 1975 as a 9-year-old. She demanded access to soccer competitions, to its latest efforts to ensure UC women's field hockey lacrosse players had a field. ERA has been part of the reason that girls' participation in sports, it rose from 1 in 27 in 1970 to 2 in 5 today. And that is important because we understand that how girls and all kids are treated in the classroom and on the playing field shapes their expectations of what they deserve later in life, including equal pay for equal work, gender and racial justice, and recognition that they are essential in the workforce and in this economy. Equal rights advocates' passion for a fair, more just world for everyone is why Salesforce is proud to support its work and honored to introduce our very special guest. A vocal leader for pay equity, racial equality, and LGBTQ+ justice, and a global hero, or as I like to say, a shero. Whether you're a sports fan or not, Megan Rapinoe is more than a role model. Her athletic grit is matched only by her grit and compassion to do the right thing off the field. In her latest venture, she's released a book, One Life, which many of you have received today as a gift. In her book, and in her work in the political sphere, she talks about the meaning of essential in a year that pushed our country to examine the roots of democracy, survival through a pandemic, and the people and workers that have put themselves at risk for others. Welcome everyone, co-captain of the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team, Olympic gold medalist, and world champion, Megan Rapinoe.
Hello, everybody. ERA. My name is Megan Rapinoe. I am so glad and happy and excited and honored to be with you tonight, at least in some small way. The theme for tonight is perfect. I've actually been thinking about this topic and this question all year. We are all essential. And I've been thinking about the question, what does it mean to be essential and who is essential and why? We've seen through the course of this year and through the course of the pandemic particularly, people and jobs literally being deemed essential, and other jobs that maybe have given more importance or more weight to them in the past were rendered at least unable to do those jobs at the time. And it really got me thinking just how essential each individual human life is, and each individual soul and their quality of life and their well-being. You know, what kinds of people are worthy? What kind of professions are worthy? What kind of human beings are worthy of being deemed essential? And truly, it's all of this. It's all of us. It's each individual. And as I think about myself as a gay woman in this world, if this year has taught us anything at all, it is that every single one of us is deemed essential. Every single one of us is essential to the health of all of the other people around us and in the world. We are only as strong as our weakest link. And I just feel in this moment, I want everyone, and I encourage everyone to lean into that strength, knowing that not only is it essential for you to stay true to yourself, but it is essential for the health of our world and our communities and our nation, that we all step into that strength and into that confidence and into that feeling of not only we're essential for ourselves, but we're essential for other people. And at a time in our life and in our country where the very most and the very best will be required of us to forge a path forward, to protect each other, to stand with each other as we get through this really difficult time, I just encourage everyone to find that essential strength within themselves and realize that their lives are so important. The lives of everyone around them are so important, and let that be our guiding light through this time. So I thank you so much for allowing me to be here. We all are essential, and we all have something really beautiful and strong to give to this world. So I hope everybody has a wonderful night. And again, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Megan. As the mom of two girls, as an athlete, as another activist, it was so great to have you here. And it was so great to have everybody that showed up to support this gala. Our icons, Dolores Huerta, Anita Hill, Senator and VP-elect Kamala Harris, and Mayor London Breed, thank you for leading the country on COVID-19, and all the legislators shout outs, and the students and workers honored, and our pro bono network. I hope that you're feeling as inspired as I am, because now's the time of the moment in the program when I ask any of you who haven't given to Equal Rights Advocates before, or even if you have, if you'd give again to support our incredible work and make a gift on behalf, in honor of somebody that you saw tonight. Give a gift in honor of the incredible team of Equal Rights Advocates that make this happen. I have the most amazing colleagues leading this work. give in honor of the founders of Equal Rights Advocates, Wendy Williams and Nancy Davis, who are on tonight, the original squad. I know they had in their squad Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Professor Barbara Babcock, two icons that passed this year, given their honor. Because in 2021, our work is going to be informed by our telephonic town halls happening right now in 10 cities across the country, in which we are reaching 50,000 women and families of color to hear what is needed to make sure that we're really centering the communities most impacted right now in our work in 2021. Your gift today will be matched by an incredible donor who is giving $100,000 in honor of Drucilla Ramey. So give right now and your money will be doubled by this great anonymous donor that we thank from the bottom of our heart. Any gifts, big or small, whatever is meaningful to you, whatever you can cut this year, we're so grateful. Your work and your work with us really makes this possible. You will be supporting our initiative to end sexual violence in education, tremendous work on behalf of LGBTQ+ students, the Stronger California Network, the Network of States to Stop Harassment, our Equal Pay Today campaign, phenomenal programs that are helping millions across the country. And we have great momentum. We have leaders that are reflecting our values this year. So we're ready to pick up the pace. We don't have any more time to wait. So thank you for giving now and giving as much as you can, and just for being here and supporting us with your time. And as members of our community action team, we've got members in every single state in the country, and you helped us do so much work on the policy front on opposing executive actions that were unlawful, really building the momentum that brought us to Election Day. So thank you. We do this together, and I really appreciate everyone turning out with our first virtual gala, and I can't wait to see all 300,000 of you soon together in person, so we can continue to celebrate the wins and the progress together. Thank you, and have a great night.
Thank you, equal rights advocates, for recognizing and fighting for everyone's essential value. And thank you for holding space with us.